Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have one more interesting macrame awl pattern to share with you. To make this project, you need to prepare about 41 meters of 4mm cotton rope, 2 rings about 5 centimeters, 2 wooden beads and a driftwood about 25 centimeters long. And in this pattern I use some basic knots: lark's head knot, square knot, double half hitch, square knot, button and wrap knot. So I'm sure it's not hard at all for you to do and practice in this weekend. Let's get started. You need to cut the ropes like I share in the screen. First step, you use one rope 1 meter long, hang up to the dowel and you tie it as tight as possible. Next, you use 6 ropes, 2.1 meters long and attach to the 2 sides of the hanging rope, 3 ropes for each side. You attach them by tying lark's head knots so that one end is facing up and the other is facing down. With the ends facing up, you only need to let it be about 10 to 12 centimeters long. Next, you use 8 ropes, 2.6 meters long, fold them in half and then you attach them to the center part of the hanging rope. You attach them by tying reverse lark's head knots. Next, you tie square knots with the ropes. You just tied the reverse lark's head knots. You tie square knots until you have a triangle. Next, you take the rope beside the first square knot and you tie double half hitch to form a diagonal line towards the center. Please note, when you tie the double half hitch knots from left to right, the ropes will be tied counterclockwise. Do the same with other side. But please kindly note, when you tie the double half hitch from right to left, the ropes will be tied clockwise. You connect these diagonals together by tying a half of the double half hitch. Next, you make 2 more diagonal lines for each side. But please note the length of the diagonals decrease. The third diagonal will be shortest one. Next, you use 2 rings and attach to form eyes of the owl. You take the last rope of the third diagonal to tie the lark's head knots. And you also take the last rope of the second diagonal and do the same. Next, with the left rope, you tie the lark's head knots, but you leave a space between the knots. Then you pull that space FO, form a loop. Repeat the process with the next lark's head knots until the left rope cove a half of the ring. You tie 4 more lark's head knots like this. Then you tie the normal lark's head knots without the spaces, with the right rope. You repeat the process with the other side to attach the right eye. Next step, you take 4 ropes in the middle to make a nose. First, you tie 3 square knots, and then you leave a small space between the third and fourth square knot. You tie 4 more square knots, then you pass 2 ropes at the middle through the space above. Finally, you tie 1 more square knot to fix them. This knot is called square knot button. Next, you thread 2 beads into the eyes. Next step, you make an arc like this at the outermost of the sides. To make this, you take the 2 outermost ropes and tie alternating half hitch until you have a length about 10 centimeters. Next step, you take the middle rope of the nose and tie the double half hitch forward to the outside of the sides. You will tie the double half hitch until you create a double half hitch line under the eye. Do the same with the other side. Next, you tie double square knots. You also tie until you have a triangle. Next, you use 4 ropes, 1.6 meter long, fold them in half. Then you attach 2 ropes for each side by tying the reverse lark's head knots. Next, you continue to tie the double square knots along the square knots above to form a larger triangle. Next step, you take the third rope and tie the double half hitch along the square knots. However, unlike previous times of tying the double half hitch knots, at this time, the holding rope of the following double half hitch will be larger than the holding rope of the previous double half hitch knot. You do the same with the other side. Next step, you will make wings with the remaining 2 ropes on each side. Tie the lark's head knots with the loops, like the way you made the eyes. Repeat the process with the other side. Last step, you use the driftwood prepared and attached to this bottom. First, you tie 1 square knot for each side to fix the wings. After that, you attach the driftwood. Divide the ropes into 2 parts and put the driftwood to inside. Then you choose 1 rope of them and make a loop. And choose another of them to wrap around the loop. Please kindly note, you should wrap evenly and firmly. Then you pass the wrapping rope through the loop and pull the looping rope as strong as to bring them inside. So they're firmly fixed. And finally, you cut off the excess ropes. Next, you untie the hanging rope. And then you will tie the double half-hitch knots with all the ropes at the top of the owl. After tying, you straighten the ropes, cut and trim so that they become an owl's ear. Do the same with the remaining ear. After all steps, this is our macrame owl. Its length is 45 centimeters without the hanging rope, and its width is 20 centimeters without the driftwood's length. I hope you like this video. If you do, please a quick like comment, really does help me out. And I also made many macrame tutorials before, you can check them out in my channel. Please don't forget to subscribe my channel to update new videos as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching and see you next week.